it's a bit high. There we go, there we go. My face, it looks dry, but I promise you it's not. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as you can see by the title, this is a movie review and I will be reviewing the movie The Harder They Fall. It deserves all the recognition possible. Like, honestly, I don't even feel like a lot of people are talking about it, and I feel like it deserves more hype, a lot more hype. Before we get into this review, I'm gonna give you the time. I'm gonna be decent, I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna give you the time to pause and to watch a trailer. Or to even pause and to watch a movie. I'll be here, you know, I'm chilling. Let's get into the video. So, The Harder They Fall is a movie is a movie about an outlaw named Nat Love, who is basically going on a revenge journey to kill all of the people who were involved in killing his parents, main guy being Rufus Buck, and basically all the people in the Rufus Buck gang that were involved in killing his parents. Now, Nat Love is played by Jonathan Majors. Rufus Buck, played by Idris Elba. We have Stagecoach Mary, played by Zazie Beetz. We have Treacherous Trudy, played by Regina King. How could I almost forget her name? Like, anyways, Regina King. And we have Cherokee Bill, played by Lakeith Stanfield. Honestly, just from the I was gonna say from the 4 people, but I have some criticisms on one of them. I'm not gonna get into who it is, but from the people I've already mentioned, you can already tell this is a stellar cast. Like, this is a stellar cast. I haven't been excited as I am about this movie that is like about a movie, period, that is not Marvel, as I am excited about this movie. I hope does that make sense? Doesn't even make sense. What I'm trying to say is I haven't been as hyped as I used to be, like as I usually am, like maybe for Marvel. English. Why is English hard? What am I trying to say? This movie, this is the first time in a long time that I've been very excited about a movie, and a movie that's not Marvel. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Yes, because that's not Tarantino. That's not a Tarantino movie as well. Anyway, so this movie was directed by James Samuels. Now, if you don't already know who James Samuels is, I barely know who he is as well, and I barely knew who he was before this. The only way I knew who he was after searching him, or the only recollection I had of him, was from an Instagram live, which was like a skit thing that he did with Jesse Williams about someone stealing toilet paper, and James was accusing people and like calling up different celebrities that were at the Jay-Z brunch party thing, and asking them whether they stole his toilet paper or something. And then there was another skit thing, Instagram live as well, that he did with Jesse, where someone broke into his house. But at the time, I found it so hilarious because I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, what is going, especially not the toilet paper one, the one where someone was breaking into his house and Jesse was just telling him to hide. I was like, what's actually going on? Anyways, this movie is rated just for fun. It's rated a 6.6 on IMDb. Wrong. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is the closest thing to correct ratings. And a 68% on Metacritic. Wrong. Literally 87. You can only trust Rotten Tomatoes anyway, so that's the only relevant one. IMDb, I expected more from you, but anyways, yeah. So let's get into the actual review of the movie. Right, so the way I'm gonna do this, I've split it. I've got this fat notes. The way I was taking notes as I was watching this movie is actually insane. I haven't felt the need to do that for a movie in ages, but this movie made me do it. I decided within the first 10 minutes as well that I'm going to review this movie by force by fire. I am not a film expert. However, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to put my 2 cents into this movie. Even though no one asked, I'm putting it into this movie. Anyways, so the way I want to talk about, I'm going to start by talking about the performances and the cast. So So as previously mentioned, let me just move this out of the way. As previously mentioned, we have our main character, Nat Love, played by Jonathan Majors. Now, the first time I watched Jonathan Majors on the screen, I know that he was in I never say it correctly, Lovecraft Country. I know he was in that series, however, I haven't seen it, but now after watching this movie, I'm a little bit more convinced and you know, I feel like I want to watch it even more after watching his performance in The Hard Day Fall. But before watching The Hard Day Fall, the only thing I saw Jonathan Majors in was in Loki. Now, for those of you who know, or those of you who may not know, I did not like Loki at all. Out of all of the Marvel series that have come out this year, WandaVision is my favorite one, and I think it's going to be very hard to top it, especially because Hawkeye is coming out soon. Who's going to be watching Hawkeye? Anyways, we're not getting to that. This is not a Marvel movie. This is not a Marvel series review. But yes, even though I've only seen WandaVision, I've seen Loki, but I haven't seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or The Winter Soldier and the Falcon, whatever it's called, and I'm not going to watch it. No one try and convince me. You can argue with your TV if you want to try and say that's the best. No, it's just hold your lips. If you want to say that Loki's the best, or The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the best Marvel series to come out, or either of the two, you're wrong. And you can argue with your fridge. You can argue with my fridge. But yes, WandaVision is the best. Loki just didn't do it for me. So when I saw Jonathan Majors, I know like his character's Major. I can't even remember the name of his character, but all I know is that he's a variant of Kang the Conqueror, which is apparent. I'm speaking really fast. I just don't. I know this video is gonna be long, which is why I'm speaking really fast. I know that Kang the Conqueror is like Jonathan Majors' character in Loki was a variant of Kang the Conqueror, which I know is about to be like the baddest villain. But honestly, seeing him, it did nothing for me. His performance, and it's not like his performance was bad, nor was it good. I just felt no way, like it made me feel nothing. Like I was so emotionless by his introduction to the screen. So it's just like, okay, that's cool. Right. So you can tell by how pleased I am by Jonathan Majors' performance, by the fact that I actually want to watch Lovecraft Country now. Jonathan Majors, all I can say about him as Nat Love was that he did what he needed to do as the main character. You know, he did what he needed to do. I was satisfied. I was so pleased by his performance. He did nothing wrong. Like, I was even questioning after, you know, seeing some of the clips of this movie on Twitter. I was questioning whether Jonathan could even, I'm so sorry, Jonathan. I'm your stan now, but before, not really. But after this performance, I am now a stan. But before, I was thinking, could he even hold his own as the main character? Like I was very doubtful. But you know, he did what he needed to do as the main character, and I'm happy. And now he has a new supporter because I do like Jonathan. Now we have our second main character, the man himself. I always say this, like this is the second time I've said this whenever I'm talking about Idris Elba. The man himself. Literally, like I know the main character was Jonathan Majors, but Idris Elba stole the show. Idris Elba, our villain of the story, playing Rufus Buck. Thank you for that. That was just wonderful. That was just pleasant. It just ruined my video. I love it. Anyways, Jonathan Majors. I mean, Idris Elba, the villain of the story. Now, after watching this movie, I decided that Idris Elba should never, ever play the good guy ever again in his life. Idris Elba is such a good villain. Like honestly, he's such a good villain. I don't even know how to explain it. But he's the type of villain that you need to hate when you need you hate when you need to, but you like when you need to. So it's not like a villain that you 100% hate. Like not like, you know, Ramsay Bolton or Joffrey. He's not that type of villain. But he's like the villain that you kind of like, but you hate because you know their role and what part they played in the story, which made them the villain. But even though you know it, you still like them. Does it make sense? So even though Rufus Buck and his gang, you know, were literally the villains and like they did terrible things and blah blah blah, like they literally murdered parents in front of their like I keep saying 7, but I don't know how old he actually was, 7-year-old son. But you know, you still like him. And one thing I loved about Idris Elba, like aside from his performance, the way they built up Rufus Buck and like his presence and like just how threatening they made him without Idris having to do with the work alone was amazing. Like literally you hear the word Rufus Buck and you're shaking. He wasn't even on the screen yet. It was amazing. I loved it so much. Like with his performance, like, you know, the way he actually acted as Rufus Buck, his demeanor, his stature, just everything about Idris Elba as Rufus Buck was just excellent. So whoever casted Idris, you did a good job. He did so well, and especially with that speech at the end. Oh, I did say spoilers. So if you're watching now, you're screaming, oh, don't tell me, that's your fault. But especially with the whole monologue that he did at the end, when he was basically telling let me just say small spoilers. I don't want to say it all. But when he was revealing some crucial information, I think that monologue was it was so powerful. It's just like, I think I need to even rewatch it because I missed a lot of the story. But the monologue and the way that he did it, honestly, and someone else said it in another review that I watched, that it wouldn't have worked if it wasn't Idris Elba. Just because Idris Elba is just that guy. He's just that guy. Now, next person I want to talk about is Regina King. Treacherous Judy was on the side of Rufus Buck, but she was my favorite female character. Favorite female character. Trudy, Regina, oh my gosh. She did it. She just did it. And I didn't expect any less from her. I didn't have any low expectations for her. I had high expectations for Regina, and she met them. She even surpassed them. It was excellent. One thing I loved the most about Trudy, Regina, in this movie was her outfit. Like, it was so signature. It just like defined who she was. That's one thing I've noticed about everyone else. They didn't really, like, no one else in the story or any of the other characters, they didn't really have signature looks. Yeah, from the first second that Regina was on screen, she just, like, she completely took over. Like, and it was just so powerful. Like, honestly, I don't even have better words. I'm so upset that I don't have any better words to describe how great just the first few seconds of Regina showing up to the movie was. But yeah, I loved Regina King. I didn't expect any less from her, so I'm just happy. She was just the coolest. Like, that's it. She was the coolest. Like, if I was to rate all of the cool characters in this movie, or the coldest characters in the movie, is definitely number 1 Idris Elba, number 2 Regina King, number 3 Jonathan Majors, or / Lakeith Stanfield's character. Those would be my top 3. Lakeith Stanfield's character, who played Cherokee Bill. Now, Cherokee Bill, I loved the way he was introduced to the movie. He was introduced at the same time Regina King was introduced. They both bodied the train scene. I think that's even my favorite scene in the whole movie. They both bodied the train scene. The train scene was excellent. Because the way they just all had their own personal presence. It's just like, I love the way that Lakeith played, or how Cherokee Bill was meant to be portrayed. However, the only thing that I was confused by was the way that he started off in the movie, the way he was explaining that, he is a person that doesn't like violence, he doesn't resort to violence. So that made me kind of believe that he was a person that, was kind of good all in all and would do things in the correct manner, or he was someone who would fight with honor and just do things correctly. However, in the final shootout, he did some things that, kind of cheated a bit, or just which I didn't expect to, be attached to his character, but it was. But I'm not mad at it. It was a little bit weird that was done. It didn't really match up to the way they were portraying him in the train scene. But putting that aside, I still really like Cherokee Bill. I really, honestly, again, I love the way that Lakeith played him. Like, he was just a cool person that he didn't have to say a lot of words, but you could tell by, like, he didn't need his words to kind of, sell how great of a person he was, or how dangerous of a person he was, or how, how cool he was. Now, before I move on to the person I kind of want to talk about, or the character that I wasn't happy with in the movie, I just want to do some honorable mentions. So we have RJ Kyler. I'm sorry, RJ, I don't mean to butcher your name. I've loved you for a very long time from Me, Erland, the Dying Girl. Now, RJ has always played, or from the movies that I've watched, he's always played like the supportive or the black best friend supporting characters, and I love the fact that in this movie he was given the opportunity, like even though it was still a supporting role, he was still given the opportunity to kind of, you know, show who his character actually was. Like his role wasn't just support my best friend and not have any ambitions of my own. He had, like, you know, you could still, his character was lovable, and you learn like the attributes of his character. It's like some attributes of his character. I love it. Like his character, I would say, was more like way more developed than other things that I've seen him playing, and it's really nice because it gave him the opportunity to showcase what he's actually capable when it comes to acting, which I was really happy with. RJ, I'm happy to see this with you. I'm happy to see that you were in this movie, and I can't wait to see what you're in next. Anyways, the next thing I like to mention is that there were so many black cameos in this movie. Like, if you don't know by the big names I've mentioned already, this movie is black. This movie is 100% black. 100% black. The cameos, they brought Coach in, they brought Woody McLean in, they brought that guy from Blackish, even though I don't watch Blackish, like people that are just normally are the funny characters of the shows, aka Coach and the guy from Blackish. These are people that were actually in the movie. Like the cameos was beautiful. Had Delroy in it as well as, what's it, Bass Reeves. Honestly, I'm actually at loss for words. I'm just so happy. Like, this movie gave so many black actors and actresses jobs and opportunities to shine, opportunities to showcase their talent, which a lot of movies don't usually do. So I'm so glad that this is a movie that did that. And I'm so glad that this is a movie that did that I can call one of my favorite movies. Like, honestly, yes, I love it. I want to talk about Zazie Beetz. It's the character that's been, you know, it's the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Zazie. Now, Zazie played Stagecoach Mary. Now, the movie starts off by telling you that every single character in this movie is historically, you know, they were historically real. Like, they were real people. However, the story isn't real. You know, they're just attached. James just attached, you know, this creative story to real characters. You know, it happens all the time. It happens all the time in different movies. But a lot of people have beef with Stagecoach Mary being casted for Zazie being casted to play Stagecoach Mary because of her skin tone, because Zazie is a light-skinned woman and Stagecoach Mary was a dark-skinned woman, and it was an opportunity to give a dark-skinned woman opportunity to, you know, be a main character in a big film like this. And it's a beef, one of the beef that, you know, I also have beef with it, but the main beef that I also, well, another beef, hey, English, let me just say it right. Another thing that I didn't like about Zazie, I just feel like it was just so wrongly casted. Like, her being casted for this role as Stagecoach Mary was just wrong, because from what I've heard, Stagecoach Mary was like a big historical figure. Like, she was a big historical figure, and I feel like from the way Zazie played her, I didn't feel any way about it. Like, I didn't care about, like, if Stagecoach Mary was killed when Trudy was gonna kill her after capturing her, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared at all. But it was only for the plot and the narrative that she had to stay alive so that Jonathan, Nat Love, could, you know, was motivated to continue fighting the Rufus Buck gang, which he was gonna do anyways because they were gonna kill his parents. But, you know, for love, all in the name of love, to save Stagecoach Mary. But honestly, Stagecoach Mary, she carried nothing. Zazie, I like you. Honestly, I do like you, and I'm not, this is nothing personal, but I really didn't like your character. Even the chemistry with Nat wasn't convincing. I didn't care about that love story at all. The love story between Trudy and Rufus Buck was even more convincing, and there was barely even anything. There was barely even any love hints between the two of them. The most that we got from Trudy and Buck was from the little cute headbutt thing that they did after Buck was released from jail. But this Stagecoach Mary and Nat Love thing, they showed so many parts that were meant to be cute. You know, they would be cute, but they weren't, because I didn't care. And I feel like at times she even sounded weird. So for like, at least if you're going to cast, and I'm not justifying it in any way, but if you're going to cast a lighter skinned woman for someone who is dark skinned, at least have a reason why, maybe a reason that you could at least justify it. She played this character completely wrong. I'm not a film expert, you know, maybe you don't have to listen to me at all, but I was not moved by her character at all. And I feel like there are so many other actresses that could have played Stagecoach Mary well. The only scene that I liked Stagecoach Mary in was the scene where she was fighting Trudy, and that was mainly because I love Trudy and because of the music. It wasn't even anything that Stagecoach Mary was doing herself. Another thing I really loved about this movie was the soundtrack. If you're gonna watch a black movie that's done on a large scale like this with a great budget, I mean, I don't know if it was a great budget, but it looked like it had a great budget. If you're going to have a black film with a great budget, you know you're gonna have a great soundtrack. You just know it. Black Panther, Lion King, and now The Harder They Fall. Honestly, I don't think I have seen a movie that has had a better suited soundtrack like this one. This was a Western movie, by the way. And they found a way, to give it a 70s feel, number one. And number two, they played Fela in it as well. A Western movie infused with like African culture through music. Do you know how powerful music is? Especially in that scene where Trudy was fighting Mary and literally everyone was just fighting everyone. They played Fela, and it was just, and I think they played Fela in another scene as well, and it was just amazing. I think I had to pause it. As soon as I heard Fela in that scene, I had to pause it and I had to take seconds. I had to be like, they actually did this. Like they actually put Fela in a movie like this. In a Hollywood movie like this. That is available on Netflix for anyone to watch. They put Fela in it. And I just felt a sense of pride. It's just like, wow. I just felt so proud. I felt so happy, like, wow. A movie like this, a Western movie, you know, I'm not American anyway. I'm not African American. I didn't live back in the Western era. I wasn't around then, but they found a way for me, one, small time Nigerian girl living in the UK, found a way to relate to this movie just through the use of music. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful. But yes, this review is already long, so I'm gonna cut it here. I rate this movie, I rate this movie a solid either 8.5 or 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched it, I rated it a 10 out of 10, but then I said, let me just relax, okay? I'm just very excited at this moment. I'm just very excited at this point. So I've decided to reduce it at least to a 9/8.5. But I'm leaning more on the 9 side. So if you liked movies like Django, if you like Tarantino movies, if you're like a film buff or you just like artistic, stylish movies, then watch it. This movie, it's a Western movie, so it's not like it's doing anything different. You have your classic story, you have your classic revenge story. It doesn't do anything new, but it does everything new. So if you want to watch Django with a twist, not even Django with a twist, if you want to watch a movie like Django, but it's so much better, because I definitely prefer this movie to Django. I'm scared now that I've said that. And I really love Django, so for me to be saying that, it's a big thing. If you really love Django, you would definitely love this movie. If you love any other Tarantino movies, if you love The Hateful Eight, you would definitely love this movie. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Have you seen The Harder They Fall? If you haven't, please go and watch it. Honestly, if I'm gonna recommend anything, I would definitely recommend that you watch this movie. If that's your thing, spaghetti westerns, or Western movies in general, if that's your thing, go watch this, because you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. If you want to see an amazing black cast, go watch this movie. If you want to see a stylish movie, if you're tired of all these dead movies that they're dropping, all these 5 out of 10s, all these 4 out of 10s or 6 out of 10s that they're dropping, this is refreshing. It's what I needed at this time, and it's what you will need at this time. So go watch it. And once you watch it, you know, let me know in the comments what you think. If you've already seen it, let me know in the comments what you think. Who was your favorite character? Do you agree with me on Stagecoach Mary's, how I felt about Stagecoach Mary's character? Yeah, just talk to me about it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your days. The light's gone, so I really have to end. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.